What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to have another top list for Batman Gotham Knights. In this video, I want to talk about top 5 things I want changed in this game. So maybe slightly confusing title, but mainly, what are some changes I want in this game compared to the previous Arkham games that we've gotten? I saw your feedback for the other videos I've done. You guys seem to really like these ranking videos. So I'm going to be keeping it up. I've done these in the past. I did them last year as well. So I definitely want to keep it up. If you guys want to see any specific top lists, definitely let me know in the comments below. But besides that, to kind of save the length of this video, because some people don't like me talking for that long, let's jump right into this. So top 5 changes. Number 1 is the villains. So the villains are tough. Honestly, I want to talk about this first because I think it could be the meatiest thing. When I say changes, you do have to have different villains. We've talked about that so many times in past videos. The question I'll have, or the biggest question I have in general, is who do you make the changes for? You know what I mean? You do want new villains in, and you probably, because of that, want old villains out. I think, we talk about games constantly getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, yeah, you can keep think about how many villains were in like Arkham Knight. Do you add like 5 to 10 more to that? Can a game even handle something like that? I think it could, but then they wouldn't all really be built evenly. Not that they even, I think, were in Arkham Knight, but if you want them all to be even, you want them all to have their own kind of spotlight missions or, arc or whatever you want to do, you're going to have to make some decisions. So some villains need to go in, some villains need to come out. They have to make some tough choices. Obviously, Court of Owls being the main villain. Do you regulate Joker to the bench, right? Do you put him on the bench and say, hey, you're a side villain now? Do you throw in new villains? Do you bring back villains that maybe weren't in Arkham Knight? Do you take very recognizable villains out? Like, do you not have Two-Face or Penguin because they've been in all of them and you want to throw in somebody else? Do you take out like Killer? Like, what do you do? Do you put Black Mask back into it? They're going to have some decisions. I want changes. I think the villain changes are honestly some of the biggest potential that this game has, right? I mean, yes, obviously it rests on Batman, but the villains really can make or break this game. What's going on? What's the foe to Batman in this game is one of the biggest parts of any game in general. The antagonist has a big part of that, but in a Batman game, definitely the villain choices are very, very important. So villains are the first one. The second one is a change to day and night cycles. So, we've had this kind of pop up in Spider-Man. There were day periods, there were night periods. They weren't exactly fluid. They weren't exactly the greatest and transitioning to them. But for Batman, they need to do this. This needs to absolutely happen. They've gotten to, and we'll actually get to that with another part of my list. They've gotten obviously way too safe with all of it taking place in like 10 hours, all of it taking place in one night, all of it kind of doing the exact same thing over and over again. They got to change it up. You got to be able to, I get it, and here's the thing. It is tough because you're playing as Batman, or you're playing as the Bat family. You don't fight crime in the day. You know what I mean? Spider-Man, that's a little bit different. Other heroes, maybe, Iron Man, a lot of Marvel, like maybe the Avengers, yeah, they take place like in broad daylight, but some of them don't. So like Batman, you don't really see walking down the streets taking selfies with people during the day, right? He takes place at night. So I get that, but that's why you implement different things. Bruce Wayne, other things, which I'll talk about in the next point here. But I really do think you have to have it more than just one night. Okay, that's basically the biggest thing. If you want to do a day-night cycle, you don't even have to do, like I said, you could just do it where certain missions take place in the day, certain missions take place at night, and that's what changes like the scenery. You could also just have literally a built-in time where it changes. So day and night cycle, I think, is definitely something that's different. That wouldn't necessarily be expected, but something that I would definitely welcome the game having. Bruce Wayne, that's the next one. So a change of just playing as Batman, basically, is kind of how I wiggled this one in. So, not playing as Batman, that means the Bat family, which is fine. The thing is, and remember, I actually made this video back last August. I talked about, like, Bruce Wayne needs to be in this game connected to the day-night cycle, and I still stand with that now. Even though you'll have the Bat family, and that seems to be a really big part of this game, that you're going to be playing as them, who knows what the split will be, right? Like, are we going to play as them an equal amount of time as Batman? Is it going to be more Batman than them? We'll have to figure that out when we actually get the game. But besides that, I do think you maybe need to start introducing Bruce Wayne. We don't really get a lot of Bruce Wayne in these Batman games. Now, again, it's Batman Arkham blank for these past games. It's not the Bruce Wayne game. But I think even like Telltale, what they did with the Batman games, I didn't love Season 1, but I actually really liked The Enemy Within. Maybe that's a minority opinion, but I liked it. And one of the reasons I liked Enemy Within so much is they really made Bruce Wayne very good. I think it worked extremely, extremely well what they did with Bruce Wayne. Now, again, is it a one-to-one? Like, can you do the exact same thing here? No, obviously not. But this is something where you start to introduce these different characters, right? I think we need to see a Bruce Wayne in this game, especially because this is a reboot, right? We're starting from scratch again. We get to build these characters. We don't know what kind of Bruce Wayne this world is going to create. We don't know what kind of Batman this game or this game universe is going to create. You know what I mean? So to have us be able to play as him again, also more important that we get to play as Bruce Wayne, and it's a different character, it's a different personality. It helps with the day-night cycle. It actually gives the game more reason to do a day-night cycle. It gives the game more reason to actually make it take place over a longer period of time, right? Because if you use Bruce Wayne, maybe you can have him do something that helps the core story of the game, right? Maybe he actually pushes, because it's not just Batman that always figures. A lot of times, sometimes Bruce Wayne or his connections, something like that, sometimes that can help the situation out too. So I think, again, having Bruce Wayne, a lot of positives with that, a lot of positives. And again, actually, it may highlight whoever's the voice actor, because they have to do a Batman voice, they have to do a Bruce Wayne voice. Sometimes they're better at one versus the other. We'll have to see how they do, but that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Not all in one night, so change up, again, the basic style of this game. Do not make it all take place in one time. Don't make the streets empty. You can also kind of throw that one into here. We don't want a literal repeat of Arkham City, of Arkham Knight, of any of these games. Don't repeat them. I mean, honestly, it's a reboot. You're starting from scratch. It's starting brand over. Do something new. And in this case, again, have it take place over a couple days, even a couple days. I know some people maybe want it to take place over more than that, but a couple days. That way you can have some Bruce Wayne missions. You can have it take place sometimes during the day. Again, you maybe don't have to play as Batman during those times, but it takes place over. You have some time to build something. You know what I mean? I think it's a little it's unrealistic to think. Now, again, this is a world where like Scarecrow's around and other other kind of like more supernaturally kind of villains, but they're all kind of based in reality. But all the stuff that happens in Arkham Knight, I mean, my God, you take out like 10, 12 different side villains. You stop Scarecrow. You fight Joker in your head, like the demon Joker in your head. You're fighting the Arkham Knight. I mean, you're doing all this, and you did it literally probably within like 6 to 8 hours. Like, is that really something that would happen? No, it should really honestly take place over a couple days at the bare minimum. And again, don't evacuate the city, please, for the love of God. We've already done that. I get the reasoning. It made like they tried to make the best reasoning possible for Arkham Knight. I think they could have done better. Obviously, it's not even the same studio, right? Rocksteady versus Warner Bros. Montreal. But I think it's very, very important that this does not take place all within like 6 to 10 hours, right? You got to change that up. And the last thing, this is my biggest thing. I don't talk about this very often. The biggest change, and this is the most legit answer to my actual title. The biggest change that I want this game to make is the detective mode. Now, I didn't put fighting. I actually don't really want fighting changed all that much. Of course, you can add different things. You can add different mechanics. You can add different weapons, right? I do want Batman to have different weapons, but in terms of changing the core of what the game is, detective mode is actually my number one. If you guys have watched for a very long time, I don't normally talk about this. I'm not a fan of detective mode almost at all. I actually think it's kind of annoying. I get why people like it. I'm sorry if I just broke what you think of me, but I'm just not a fan. That doesn't mean I don't like the games or anything, but I'm just not a fan of how they handle detective mode. Honestly, I'm not really a fan of how anybody has ever, even the Batman Telltale games. There's something to that's different and unique and cool in that way, but even that, I mean, it's not the greatest. It's hard because you're playing it because of a lot of different reasoning. I don't really play the Batman games for the detective part, right? To actually figure out a crime scene. There are unique ways. I'm not saying like it's never been done good in the Batman. I think some Arkham games have had some cool detective moments to it. I just think consistently it's never really been done all that great. Again, in my opinion, I think if you're looking through the game, if you're Warner Bros. Montreal and you're combing through the game and you're saying, all right, what can we look at from these past games that if we want to have like a complete overhaul, and again, I mean, the characters are going to look different. They may even be voiced by different people. I mean, there's a ton of things that are definitely going to be like radically changed. But if you're looking at the gameplay mechanics, you're like, all right, we want to keep the fighting. The fighting works really well. Obviously, we'll improve upon it. We're going to change this. We're going to change it. But it's not going to be the biggest changes in the world. What can we really, built from the ground up, what can we really do to change a core part of this game? And maybe even make it a core part of the game is detective mode. I don't think detective mode, yes, it's used in key situations in the Arkham game, but I don't think it's a key part of the game. I honestly feel like they're kind of thrown in. They kind of just think them up. You know what I mean? I again, I mean, I could definitely be wrong about a lot of this stuff, but I just don't think detective mode is always the most thorough, the most thought out, the most impressive parts of the game. You know what I mean? So if you're, again, building this game and you're saying, you know what, we want detective mode to really be a big part of this. Like, we want you to feel like you're smart, like you're a detective, like you're figuring out this stuff. And detective mode is actually going to really push this game forward in big ways. And also, we want to completely redo it. We want to build it up from the ground up. We don't know. I mean, I don't even have that many good ideas. If you guys have any ideas of how you would fix detective mode, and again, only if you think it needs fixing. But definitely let me know in the comments below. But that's my number one. I'm not a fan of detective mode. It's always been my least favorite part of any of the Batman games. And so, if I had to ask for anything to be majorly changed in this game, it would be detective. And by the way, my luck, that'll be the one thing they keep the same. Everything else will be. And I'm sure people would have said that in the comments too. Everything else in this game will be completely changed. Detective mode will literally be the exact same thing, just to rub it into my face. But guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? What are some changes you want made to this game versus the past games? Let me know your ideas. Again, let me know other kinds of videos like this you want me to do. I'm having a lot of fun making these. These are really, really fun videos. Obviously, I'm going to talk about the leaks and rumors as they come out. You know, the excitement as we're just now under 2 months that the game will get announced. So lots of different videos coming, but I do want to make these list videos as well. So let me know any ideas you have for that in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, have the bell icon turned on. I'm recording this before I'm on vacation, quote unquote, but I am on vacation. So again, videos, they won't be as up to date as they normally are. I still will have Batman videos. Probably the next one will be like Wednesday is probably the next day you'll get one. So keep on the lookout for them. They'll just probably be more fun videos like this, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.